Are you serious? Are you serious? We have breaking news coming out of Israel. Within the hour, there's been 12 rockets fired out of Gaza into Israel, especially toward the town of Ashkelon, the biblical city, where apparently Prime Minister Netanyahu, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his wife Sarah and others were campaigning for tomorrow's vote that has to do who's going to lead the Likud party. The Iron Dome inceptors accepted and intercepted the incoming projectiles in the case similar to the attack back in September and back in October when I was there, when 450 rockets were fired during the last week that I was in Israel, which fulfilled those prophecies that it will begin when Paul Begley is in Israel. Well, it has begun and it hasn't ended, and it continues. Palestinian terrorists fired rockets toward the southern city of Ashkelon within the hour, about 49 minutes ago, as Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was campaigning for the upcoming Likud party leadership primary, which is going to happen tomorrow. He was rushed off the stage to take cover. The Israeli Defense Forces said soldiers operating the Iron Dome missile defense system shot down the incoming rocket that was definitely headed right into the heart of the city of Ashkelon and could have hit the very location they were at. Now, Netanyahu was in the middle of a campaign event in Ashkelon at the time and was forced to evacuate to a bomb shelter along with dozens of supporters in the room. This was the second time he's had to be rushed off stage since September. It happened while I was there, of course, also in October. And then the prime minister returned to the stage later to issue a serious threat to a terrorist in Gaza. He said the last person who fired the rocket last time is no longer with us. The person who did it this time should pack their things, because in other words, we're going to kill you too. And you know, he did. They killed the leader of the Islamic Jihad that was in Gaza after they fired rockets at the very city and location that the prime minister was at. Now, in most cases, senior politicians refrain from making announcements like that. But I think in the heat of the moment, Benjamin Netanyahu, who's really on edge anyway, politically, and just as sick and tired of it, I guess, and he's just not going to play around. And I would be leery tonight. I would say tonight that that hell's fury will come roaring down on Gaza City tonight, not at the civilian people, but at these radical jihadists. Now, these 2 rockets that were fired at Ashdod, 3 rockets were fired at Ashkelon, and we went live about an hour ago, just after, literally when the alarms were going off, and over at the backup channel, you can watch that as Heidi and I was driving. I pulled over on the side of the road and we filmed the video for you. But last week also a series of mortars and rocket attacks, as well as several attempts by Palestinians to breach the border fence separating Israel and the Gaza Strip. All of this while Trump is getting ready to bring out the peace deal, which is actually already leaked. It leaked, and I actually was the first person to read it on YouTube or anywhere else in the United States live. And you can go back a few videos and you'll see that. And it's incredible. The opportunity for Hamas is unbelievable if they just, again, we're talking about a very demonic situation. Christmas Day, in the middle of Hanukkah, rockets fired to try to assassinate and kill Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and anyone else that happens to be around him. Several thousand Palestinians protesting on the Gaza Strip last week. It just continues to get worse. And, on a day that everybody wants there to be peace, on a day that, we celebrate the birth of Jesus Christ, on a day that the Holy Land should at least take one day to reflect on the gift of God that God gave to the whole world. The radical jihadists want everything but peace, and it continues to go on. So pray for the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Go read Psalms 122, verse 6. You'll prosper if you pray for the peace of Jerusalem. If you look to the Lord, you can be blessed. These guys obviously won't be blessed that fire these rockets. They'll certainly receive the cursing that the Bible promises to those that do such things. I'll be back with more current world events and how they relate to biblical prophecy. But you are living in the last days, and something biblical is going on, folks, with the signs of the second coming of Christ. In the middle of Hanukkah, the devil's firing his fiery darts. I'll be back with more.